Welcome to the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Monday, January 13th. Over the last 30 days, we've had precipitation over most of the Great Basin with the exception of parts of central and western Nevada, which have been on the drier side, into western Utah. The only areas that have seen above normal precipitation, however, have been over parts of southern and eastern Utah and up into Idaho, but most of the Great Basin has seen below normal precipitation for the time of year. Over the last 72 hours, we've had new snowfall over the northern half to two-thirds of the Great Basin, especially up into central Idaho, eastern Idaho into Wyoming, and down into the northern Utah mountains. And you can see our snow depth in the image on the right. How this relates to normal is we are seeing above normal snowpack for parts of southern and eastern areas of the Great Basin, and just below normal snowpack for areas across Idaho into northern and central Nevada. We don't really have too many concerns with drought across the Great Basin with some of the moisture and at least cooler temperatures that have moved across the area, but we do have some drier spots again over western Nevada into western Utah. The satellite image from this morning shows a trough of low pressure now moving over eastern areas of the Great Basin and still some lingering snowfall from the system as it's moved across over the last day or so over in parts of northern Utah. And we will see some of those clouds and showers continue today across Utah, possibly far northeast Nevada, and up into Idaho and Wyoming. As we move into later this afternoon, that system will move off well to the east, and we will see another system dropping south over the northern areas, bringing cloud cover and some shower activity to Idaho. We will also have some fairly good dispersion over parts of northern and central Nevada into western Utah as winds increase south of the system. And you can see the gusty winds over these areas over the northern half to two-thirds of the Great Basin in the image on the left, showing wind gusts above 30 or 35 miles per hour with some stronger winds up into western Wyoming. Mixing heights will remain in the moderate range, most of the region wide, with the exception of the far south, which mixing heights will be a little bit lower. On Tuesday, this system moves across northern areas, so we will see showery conditions continue and also another system approaching the west coast. So we will have continued unsettled weather and precipitation increasing on Tuesday. Dispersion again will remain fairly good over much of Nevada into western Utah with those gusty winds. Winds will strengthen on Tuesday from what we'll see today over parts of western and central Nevada. Could see some gusts above 30 or 40 miles per hour, and also mixing heights will be on the rise. But generally gusty winds really region-wide, especially in the higher elevations. Later in the day on Tuesday and Wednesday, this next system drops south along the west coast, and this will again push more precipitation over generally the northern half of the Great Basin. And we will see winds start to decrease on Wednesday, so dispersion will start to deteriorate. And you can see those winds in the image on the left on Wednesday, just some gusty winds in some of the higher terrain, but for the most part winds will be quite a bit weaker on Wednesday than what we'll see today and tomorrow. Mixing heights will also decrease significantly across the area. The forecast clearing index for Utah is indicated here. You can see today we only have some of the higher clearing indices, especially in the higher terrain where the winds will be gustier into the northern and central mountains, and then more moderate elsewhere with the exception of southern and eastern Utah, which will be on the lower side. We will see those winds increase over the western half of the state on Tuesday, so seeing those clearing indices dramatically rise, and then we will see them significantly decrease on Wednesday as those winds start to taper off. You can see the forecast amount of precipitation through Thursday morning. Again, these main systems early this week will be targeting the northern half of the Great Basin. We may see some more significant snowfall up into the higher Sierra as we move towards Tuesday and Wednesday, and also some good snowfall for the higher terrain of Idaho into Wyoming and northern Utah, with snow showers down into the lower elevations as well. As we move later this week, we have another system moving through the area, so on Thursday we'll continue to see those showers, especially over the eastern two-thirds of the region, along with another increase in winds, so we'll see good dispersion across Nevada, western Idaho, and western Utah. On Friday, that main system moves off to the east, and we will start to see some ridging develop across the Great Basin. We still may see Friday and Saturday some clouds and showers over parts of western Idaho into northwest Nevada, but these will be lighter than what we'll see through the mid part of this week. And dispersion will generally remain poor over the southern half of the region. So Saturday, that next system moves through, again, mostly clouds and a few showers moving across the area with generally poor dispersion. And then we will see that ridge become a little bit more prominent Sunday into early next week. So we will see a period of drying and slightly warmer temperatures, along with a significant decrease in winds. So we will see poor dispersion as we go towards Sunday and Monday with those drier conditions. Looking at the forecast amount of precipitation from Thursday morning through Saturday morning, and you can see finally starting to see some shower activity make its way down into southern areas of the Great Basin that have been dry recently. It doesn't look like a whole lot of precipitation, but most areas, at least of the southern half of the region that have been dry, should at least get some light precipitation. The 8 to 14-day outlook, taking us from January 20th through the 26th, still shows cooler temperatures in the north, and now we're seeing more of a drier signature return to the Great Basin later this month. That concludes the webcast for today. Check back on Wednesday for the latest updates.